Early 90s New Orleans hip-hop was a long way from the no-limit cash money dominance that the city would become known for. Artists like Gregory D was rocking, Bust Down had some success with his classic Nasty Bitch, and MC Thick stood on the game with the hit song Marrero. Tim Smooth made some noise with I Gots to Have It, but none of them was able to establish the city as a staple in the rap game nationwide. And with the birth of bounce music in 91, more artists shifted to the bounce lane, further locking the city's rap scene into a regional bubble. By 94, Cash Money was dropping underground tapes, seeing some local success with groups like UNLV. Meanwhile, another label was getting ready to launch with intentions of leaving a stain on the game, far past Louisiana and surrounding areas. Big Boy Records was founded by Chuck Big Boy Temple, Rob Shaw, and Leroy Precise Edwards, a DJ and producer with deep ties to the New Orleans music scene.
I came out with like, look, we're gonna start this label.
Right.
Sporty came up with the name Big Boy Records. I said, okay, we're gonna use that.
Right, wow.
And from there, said, Fat Man took care of me. Let's work it out,
Right.
see what we gotta do.
Right.
Sporty came up with the name, Sporty drew the logo on the napkin.
That's all.
I sent that thing to disc makers. They sent the logo back. We went to the incorporation papers on Magazine Street, and we got the cookie.
They formed the label with Sporty T as the first artist. But once they started running, Sice went on a mission to bring the dopest talent in the city to the label.
I got Fiend coming through the door. I got Partners in Crime coming through the door. I got the Ghetto Twins coming through the door.
Right.
You know, I got Black Menace coming through the door. So you know what kind of style I'm working with.
At a concert one night, he peeped the opening act that he knew was the missing piece that would put Big Boy over the top.
There was some powerhouse acts, and they came down and KL was DJing for he was doing like the house sound. Yeah. And so I got a chance to open up for that event. And DJ Precise was in the audience. Yeah. Yeah, he was the producer for Big Boy Records at the time. Yeah, we heard that. We told Chuck, and Chuck came and got me, and that was shit for the rest of the history. Yeah, we got our thing.
When I saw him and I asked the kids who he was, I was like, who is that guy? You know, and they was like, we don't know who he is. They jamming, they dancing, they doing their thing, but they don't know who this guy is. So when the guy get off, I go to KLC, who was engineering at the Treme Center that day. He was doing the sound. And I asked him, I said, man, who is that? What is up there? He said, oh man, that's Mike. I said, man, I'll be coming to see you tomorrow about Mike. I saw him on a Friday, went looking for him on a Saturday, signed him on a Sunday, cut the first record on Monday.
The rest was history.
Your style.
Mystikal's self-titled album on Big Boy Records dropped in 1994. His unorthodox style over Sice production was a perfect blend, and the tape blew up in Louisiana and spilled over to surrounding states, selling well over 100,000 records independently. With this success, the major labels started calling, and by 1995, Mystikal and Big Boy Records had secured a $500,000 deal with Jive Records.
I was riding on I-10, coming from Reserve to Kenner, coming from LaPlace to Kenner, and that damn One More Chance Biggie song came on the radio. And I'm like, yeah, they got it. I like the way that kick go with the bass. Like the bass and the kick playing the same shit. I listened to that song on that little strip over that water, and when I came down off of Kenner, to go to the studio, it was that all was in my head was boom, 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 boom. Now that's not One More Chance, but that's what I heard. It's the song coming to me, because that shit was different. It was three notes. And I was like, ooh, I said, what three notes hot? You know what I'm saying? I think three notes that's hot.
I said, I gotta put that bass with the piano in the kick. And I gotta use a rim shot because they have a rim shot on One More Chance. It's just a kick in the rim shot. I said, okay, shit. Then I'm from New Orleans, so you get the
Jive was to re-release Mystikal's self-titled album with 5 new songs added to it.
So I had already had the original project, the Mystikal project, the self-titled Mystikal project. Yeah. And we was gonna re-release it on the national level. So we had to come up with, just freshen it up for the people that already still, make it funky for the people that never heard me. And so we did 5 more, and Here I Go was one of those ones.
To complete the deal, we had to have X amount of songs, so we didn't have. So I made the beat for Here I Go. They said, we're going up there, we don't have enough stuff to, get them to cut the check. I say, I got a beat and I got a concept. They gonna cut the check. And when we played the beat, when they played the whole album in Jive, and they said, okay, where's the last song? I played just the beat. So I said, I got one for you. Boom, 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 yeah. Yeah.
The vision Sice had for this beat was for Mystikal to put a rap he had heard him do some years ago, but had never recorded.
I heard the Here I Go shit, a version of those lyrics, like when he was in high school. But I didn't know who the fuck, I didn't know that was Mystikal.
Me, Juvenile, and one of UNLV, Yafet was sitting on the porch in a Magnolia project on Perret Street. And Juvenile played me a fucking song by Mystikal before he went. Mystikal was at Desert Storm at this time, and he played me a song on that fucking porch. And this motherfucker was rapping like LL, but the lyrics was the Here I Go lyrics.
When I first started in the game, I prototyped myself behind LL Cool J. My first style was rhyme, singing, and portraying, something else off slinging, LL, man.
It always starts that way. And then how did you develop it to your own?
I just evolved into that shit, evolved into it. They had LL, they ain't need no fucking 2 LL.
They was like, where the lyrics? I said, well, Mike, say the lyrics to, and he was thinking about it. He was like, what song? I said, the song go something like this. He said, the song sound like LL Cool J. I said, yeah, the LL Cool J song. And he did the hook, and the label went crazy. They said, okay, there it is. Here go y'all check. Here go $500,000. We'll see y'all money.
Here I Go is one of Mystikal's signature records, and since its 1995 release, has gone on to be an anthem. From the streets, to the clubs, to sports events, and everywhere else you could think of. This is how Here I Go by Mystikal was